Tom lived a boring life until he found a strange door in an antique shop. When he turned the key, he stepped into ancient Rome, surrounded by chaos and wonder. Lost in the bustling marketplace, Tom accidentally knocked over a fruit stand. As the vendor yelled at him in Latin, Tom realized he was really in another time. He tried to explain himself, but no one understood him. A friendly baker took pity on him and gave him a loaf of bread. Tom marveled at the ancient architecture, feeling both excited and terrified. He quickly learned that history wasn't as glamorous as it seemed. Just as he started to get comfortable, a group of Roman soldiers approached him. They mistook him for a thief and chased him through the streets. Tom ran for his life, dodging through narrow alleys. He finally found refuge in a dark, narrow doorway. When he looked up, he saw the familiar swirling colors of his door. Without hesitation, he jumped through it and landed back in his apartment. Panting and wide-eyed, Tom realized the door was no joke. The experience left him shaken, but also exhilarated. He thought about all the possibilities this door offered. Time travel was real, and it was sitting in his living room. But as the excitement wore off, a sense of dread settled in. What if he got stuck in the past? The next day, Tom couldn't stop thinking about the door. Curiosity won, and he decided to try again. This time, he landed in Victorian England. A foggy street with horse-drawn carriages unfolded before him. Tom tried to blend in, wearing a hat he found lying around. He soon realized he was underdressed for the era. A group of well-dressed gentlemen laughed at his appearance. Embarrassed, Tom ducked into a nearby pub. The pub was smoky and dim, filled with people speaking in thick accents. Tom ordered a drink, trying to lay low. A woman in a grand dress approached him, clearly mistaking him for someone else. She started talking about a secret plan, and Tom pretended to listen. Suddenly, a man burst through the door, accusing Tom of being a spy. The entire pub turned against him in an instant. Panicked, Tom dashed outside, the mob close behind. He desperately searched for his time travel door. Finally, he spotted the door at the end of the street. Tom ran toward it, hearing the angry shouts behind him. He flung open the door and dived through, landing back in his living room. Once again, he was safe but shaken. Tom realized that time travel wasn't just an adventure, it was dangerous. He swore to be more careful next time. Despite his fears, Tom couldn't resist the door's pull. He decided to take one more trip, this time with a plan. Tom packed a small bag with essentials and stepped through the door. He emerged in the 1960s, surrounded by vibrant colors and loud music. A group of hippies welcomed him with open arms. They offered him some special brownies, which Tom declined with a nervous laugh. He wandered through the festival, enjoying the carefree atmosphere. For a moment, Tom felt like he belonged. But then he noticed a familiar face in the crowd. It was his grandfather, young and carefree. Tom's heart skipped a beat as he realized the significance of this moment. Tom watched his grandfather laugh and dance, full of life. He wanted to approach him but knew he couldn't. As the night went on, Tom felt a bittersweet ache in his chest. He was witnessing a side of his grandfather he'd never known. The next day, Tom decided to return home, but before he left, he wrote a note to his grandfather and slipped it into his pocket. Back in his apartment, Tom felt a strange mix of emotions. The door had shown him something beautiful, but also left him with a deep sadness. He couldn't stop thinking about his grandfather and the life he had before Tom knew him. The experience was both a gift and a burden. Days passed, and Tom tried to resume his normal life. But the door loomed in his thoughts, a constant temptation. One evening, Tom decided to check if the note had any effect. He stepped through the door, returning to the same festival. To his shock, his grandfather was wearing the note around his neck, now old and worn. It was clear that the note had meant something to him. Tom felt a tear roll down his cheek. He realized that he had unknowingly shaped a part of his grandfather's life. Back in his apartment, Tom sat in silence, processing everything. The door had given him a chance to connect with his past in a way he never thought possible. But it also made him realize the weight of time travel. Every action had consequences, even if he didn't see them right away. Tom wondered what other moments in history the door could reveal, but for now, he decided to take a break. The door was both a blessing and a curse, and Tom needed time to figure out how to handle it. He locked the door and hid the key, hoping to find peace. Months passed, and Tom lived his life without using the door. But the memories of his travels lingered, especially the image of his grandfather. One rainy evening, Tom's curiosity got the best of him. He retrieved the key and unlocked the door once more. This time, he had a specific destination in mind. He wanted to see his parents before he was born, to understand them better. Tom stepped through the door and found himself in the 1980s. His parents were young and in love, completely unaware of the future. He watched them from a distance, seeing the joy and challenges they faced. It was a surreal experience, seeing them as people rather than just his parents. Tom noticed the struggles they went through, the sacrifices they made. It gave him a new appreciation for everything they had done for him. As he prepared to leave, Tom left a small gift for his parents, a toy he knew they would appreciate. He hoped it would bring them a little extra happiness. Back in his apartment, Tom felt a deep sense of closure. The door had given him insights into his family's past, and he was grateful for that. But he also realized that the door was too powerful to keep using. The risks outweighed the rewards. Tom made a difficult decision. He would destroy the door. It was the only way to ensure he wouldn't be tempted again. He took a sledgehammer and smashed the door to pieces. As it broke apart, the swirling colors faded, and the magic was gone. Tom felt a sense of loss but also relief. The door had served its purpose, and now it was time to move on. In the weeks that followed, Tom's life returned to normal, but he carried the lessons of his travels with him. He became more appreciative of the present, knowing that the past was something to cherish, but not to live in. The door had shown him the value of time, both in the past and the present. Tom found peace in his decision, knowing that he had done the right thing. The door was gone, but the memories would stay with him forever.